Well, here we go again. More comedy from the Mormon church office building, Comedy Central. Jesus. I don't look for this stuff. I never run out of something to say because the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints continues to worry about your vagina and your penis. So the name of my tape is the Thomas Monson Anti-Erection Pants. This is the next new thing at BYU, BYU Hawaii, and BYU Idaho. Okay, now why do I know that the church is producing at the Garment Distribution Center the anti-erection pants, which will be selling right at about $59 a leg. So take 3 times 59, there's the price right there. Okay, this morning there's an article. Oh God, I was on the internet. Jesus, here comes Satan. God damn. I was on the internet this morning and there's a big article on the BYU Idaho campus. They have added to the honor code. Now, the honor code is basically designed, and I think the concept behind the honor code is a good concept. You don't want people on your campus that are naked, or people on your campus that are, drawing attention to themselves unreasonably. But there are certain styles and certain traditions that go on in a society that most institutions are flexible enough to restrain and direct, but not BYU. Jesus. If you've got a penis or a vagina, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. I don't care if you're gay, you're lesbian, you're heterosexual. I don't care if you're black, white, skinny, young, old. Until you cut those two things off, the Mormon church is going to be after you. Okay, here is their new rule, which is being added to the honor code. No skinny jeans. Now, I didn't know what the hell a skinny jean was. I've seen the leggings that the kids, especially the girls, wear over at the ballet training and dance class. And my older one takes her hip-hop dancing lessons over there. So she got up this morning, my 13-year-old, and I said, honey, do you know what skinny pants are? And she said, well, yeah, they're what I'm wearing. And so I looked at her pants. They looked like just, they weren't Levi's, but they were just regular black pants that fit cute. I didn't think that there was anything immoral that she's going to get pregnant tomorrow. And I thought, well, I said, if you ever try to go to BYU Idaho, you can't wear those clothes. And she's only 13, and she goes, that's stupid. I know, I agree, that is stupid. Well, let me tell you some of the history, stupidity, things that come out of this comedy act. When I was a child growing up in the cult, I call it a cult. To you, it may not be a cult. To me, it was a cult. And when we went to dances, the girls could not wear anything strapless. If you had boobs, and even if they were not even showing yet, you couldn't wear anything strapless. Shawls were very popular when I was a kid. Okay, now, in the 60s, a lot of the girls went braless. That was a style in the 60s, and I haven't even thought about that for years until I saw this comedy this morning. You couldn't go to a Mormon anything if you weren't wearing a bra, and these days I have man boobs, so I guess I would have to have a bra to get into a dance. I don't know. Well, the girls used to have to, before they came into the dance, and it's always these repressed sexually men who are in charge of the girls. They're in charge of the girls. So they had to kneel down, the girls. Even the irony of a 13 or 15-year-old girl kneeling down in front of a man to get into a dance. I'm a bad boy. I just think things. Maybe I think a little like Joseph Smith. I don't know. But that's a position I don't want my daughter in, to go to a Mormon dance, to kneel down in front of a man's genitals. Her dress in those days had to touch the floor. If her dress didn't touch the floor, it was too short. So she's gone. She has to go home and change her prom dress or do something else. And her kneeling position was rejected. Now, as years went on, and I was in the church for dances and singles groups even, because I was divorced on numerous occasions, they went from the kneeling position. I still think that's funny. I never thought about it till I started this video. But anyway, they went from kneeling and worshiping the authorities' genital area, showing that their dress hit the ground. They went to the credit card. Now, back in the old days, Mormons weren't allowed to have credit cards. That was against the rules. Again, it's the underground church. There's nothing written. The only thing that's written is stay out of debt. That's the only thing that's written. But everybody was starting to get credit cards in the 60s and the 70s. And so now it became the new standard of measurement for girls. Now, if you've got a vagina, it's always being measured in the Mormon church. So the girls didn't have to kneel anymore in front of the men's genitals. The men kneeled in front of the girls' genitals. It's equal rights here. It's equal rights. And they would take out a credit card. Now, historically, credit cards are all the same size, so I guess it was fair no matter what credit card they used. And they put the bottom of the credit card at the bottom of her dress, and then the other piece of the credit card on her knee. Jesus. So here's these Mormon men who are chaperones, and we're all going, I want to be a chaperone. Please, I'm the high priest group leader. Let me measure the girls' dresses to their knees. And so then, now you had to determine where her knee was. To me, a knee can be 4 or 5 inches. So, you know, you could measure it for quite a while and then make a decision whether she could get into the dance. Okay. So, we've seen this evolution of the vagina. God dang. When I went to BYU in the 60s, I graduated in 72, the girls were not allowed to wear pants. Now, I just took the kids to school just now. It was 14 degrees outside. So, in my day at BYU, if you were a girl, you wore a dress and panties under the dress. Now talk about a cold vagina. I wouldn't know because I don't have a vagina. But that to me is abuse, but it wasn't to BYU and the men in charge of the vagina police, the Nazi vagina police. So what was really neat is when we BYU boys, when we saw the weather forecast and we saw 50 to 100 mile an hour winds, we got out of bed early. And we went down to the Wilkinson Center and sat there to watch the girls try to hold a dress down in a 96 mile wind and hoping that they would constantly fail. Well then, you know, they started letting the girls wear pantsuits. And then they started allowing the girls to wear pants. But now skinny pants can't be worn. And you can't wear shorts anywhere on BYU for classes. And I don't know what's next. I don't know if it's the hidden vagina bathing suit. I don't know. But these guys are so hung up. If they were getting a little bit of sex, and they were happy, and they were well adjusted, and they weren't ashamed of their own bodies. So the next prediction by David the prophet is Monson was in charge of the gay anti-erection study and vagina study. It wasn't just erections, it was vaginas too at BYU. And he thought that if you put electrical shocks on an erection, it would go away. And I'm inclined to believe that. I'm I'm totally inclined to believe that. Okay, and he put wires on vaginas too. And he was basically saying girls will not be very wanting sex if we shock their vaginas. I think that was true too. I don't know why they had to prove that. But anyway, 6 of the boys in that study committed suicide on Monson's watch. Monson was in charge of that class, technology at BYU. So he's kind of the anti-erection prophet. Boyd K. Packer is the anti-masturbation prophet. And Monson is the sexual excitement vagina and the erection Nazi police. So I think the Mormon Church now is going to put his name on the anti-erection pants. And what happens if you're a boy and you're on the BYU campus and you have an erection, what will happen is there'll be huge electrical charges into your erect penis, and it's kind of like a taser, so you'll fall down and you'll be, neurologically doing this, and so everybody will know what happened. It's not going to be a secret. So, in the same way with girls, that they have to wear the vagina pants, and basically, if they get a little bit wet, the vagina, basically, the shock goes all over, and the girls flop down the side. And when you see those flopping girls, you go over and say, hey, would you like to have dinner tonight? This is funny stuff. Skinny pants, no shorts. Now, they're telling you what underwear to wear. Now they're telling you what outerwear to wear. And when I worked at the temple in Los Angeles, they required me to cut my beard off, so you can't have a beard or a mustache. And you couldn't used to be a skinhead. I think that's more accepted because bald men in the Mormon church are a dime a dozen, so I think I still look like a Mormon. I don't act like it or talk like it, but I look like it. So if you're going to send your kids off to a church-sponsored, Mormon church-sponsored college, I would seriously think of some type of metal detector or something over the penis and over the vagina, maybe like a chastity belt, because you don't want your daughter doing this on the campus, because the boys are just going to line up as soon as that shock is over with. And the guys that measure with the credit cards and where you have to kneel down in front of their genitals, they'll be lined up first in line. I guarantee it. These people are so sexually repressed. I don't think there would be a Mormon church if there was no genitals. I don't think there would be a Mormon church because they'd have nothing to do. If you're not worried about who you are and the humiliation and the embarrassment of an erection or a wet vagina, they don't know what religion is. So be careful when you send your kids off. Make sure that they go with a male and a female chastity belt. That I said metal, but metal's not going to do it. It's got to be some kind of composite plastic material so the shock does not go in there. And so it's comedy. It's absolute comedy. Who are the people that are making this stuff up? Well, they're people who have suffered their whole life with not enough sex or no sex, and people who are, self-conscious about who they are, and people who have power, who've never had any power. And when you have power over people's genitalia, that's power. That's a lot of power. So watch out for the skinny pants now. And the Monson pants should be out this coming summer. And you do get a 10% discount if you have a temple recommend on the Monson pants and the Emma Smith panties that have the electrodes in it for the girls. It's going to be a little bit cheaper. So you can get 2 for 1 with the girls. So, wait for Christmas. Give those Monson electrode pants to your sons, and make sure you have the Emma Smith panties for your daughters. Thank you so much.